Congress. He is a person who studies well, applies logic, and comes out with the deduction of making things better for people who are not in this town, but rather people who are the real part of America. And I'd like to yield 4 minutes to the gentleman, Mr. Pence.
The gentleman from Indiana is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank the gentleman for yielding, for his leadership, and for his gracious esteem. I rise in support of HRS 572, the rules supporting the Jobs Act and the underlying bill, and I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, everywhere I go across the Hoosier State, I hear job creators struggling in this economy talking to me about the obstacles to growth, the obstacles to getting this economy moving again for their business. And again, I hear about the weight of federal red tape that stands in the way of capital formation, business expansion, and jobs. Just today I was talking to a manufacturer in the state of Indiana who said to me, Mike, the environment in Indiana is very positive. Our problem is Washington, D.C. And I was able to report to him that in a bipartisan manner today, the Congress was going to take a small but significant step in lifting a regulatory burden on capital formation. And that Hoosier, like I hope all Americans looking in today, was encouraged. You know, the Jobs Act will actually facilitate capital formation, business expansion, and growth by lifting the burden from job creators in a number of ways. It exempts emerging growth companies from certain SEC regulations. It raises offering thresholds for SEC registration. It exempts securities issued through innovative crowdfunding sources from SEC regulation, all of which in plain English means that we are going to change the regulatory environment to help startups and small businesses access public markets. You know, I've always believed throughout more than a decade working on this floor that politics is the art of the possible. And today, we will not do everything those of us on this side of the aisle believe that we should do to jumpstart this economy. But we will do what we can do in a bipartisan fashion in passing this rule and moving the bipartisan Jumpstart Our Business Startups or Jobs Act, H.R. 3606. On behalf of hardworking taxpayers in Indiana, on behalf of that job creator I talked to this morning, I urge my colleagues to come together today to join us in supporting the Jobs Act. Let's give entrepreneurs and investors all across this country the incentive and the regulatory relief they need to get this economy back on track. And I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Texas reserves. The gentleman from Colorado.
I'd like to inquire if the gentleman has any remaining speakers. Gentleman from Texas.